why chambers are important
Yeah.
is we are the organization that is looking out for businesses. People think their city is out looking out for their businesses.
Right.
But that's not really the city's job.
Good morning, Glendora. My name is Taylor Garcia, and I'm really excited to have another guest on the show, dive into another conversation. You probably already know him. He's around town. He supports all the businesses. We have Joe Cina from the Chamber of Commerce. Joe, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Joe, you've been a part of a lot of the newer businesses, ribbon cuttings, we were just having a conversation off the camera about being a part of some of these boards and attending a lot of these things. For the people that may not know you, because I think a lot of the people probably do, give us a little bit of history and background about who you are, kind of how you've gotten to be where you are today.
Okay. Well, honestly, I don't know how I got where I am today. Because, kind of going back, I went to high school here.
Oh,
I went to Glendora High School. I moved to Glendora when I was a freshman.
Oh.
Lived in Rowland Heights before that.
Okay.
So I went to the high school here, was in the marching band the whole time. I was a very quiet kid.
Really?
Didn't talk much.
Yeah.
It's kind of which I met my wife there.
Okay.
We didn't get married in high school, but
yeah.
We've been married for 25 years.
Wow.
So, or in August, 25 years.
Okay.
Quiet kid, band, which kind of got me out of my shell, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, then went to college, and why I say I don't know how I got here is because I went to college for industrial technology.
Really?
Power, energy, and transportation. So, doing engineering stuff, alternative fuels. I had a fuel-injected lawnmower in college, if you can believe that.
Oh, that's...
that I made.
Really? Wow.
So I did that kind of stuff. I'm a tinkerer,
yeah.
That kind of stuff. But
Okay.
then I worked for a company, did collision warning systems for cars and stuff like that, and which are now on every car, but it was back before they were on every car.
Really?
So, and then got in some finance, and then was part of the chamber. And so I was a member of this chamber and the Laverne Chamber for like 7 years, before working here.
Yeah.
And stuff. I have lived in the area ever since high school, except for 1 year up in the Monterey Bay in La Selva Beach when I started college.
Okay.
Married my wife in 1999. We have two kids now. One's in college in Concordia and Irvine, and my son's at GHS now in the band.
Oh, he is?
Yeah,
oh,
so
nice.
He's a drummer. I was a drummer.
Really?
Yeah, and so it's fun being able to be with him there where I played and my wife played and all of our friends. There's other people in the boosters that we went to high school with too right now. So
wow,
it's really cool.
That is cool. Well, I have to say, because I'm a drummer. And I was
in the... All right, there you go.
yeah, and I was in drumline in high school.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing for me because I think I wasn't a sports guy and I wasn't, I kind of struggled to find my group, so to speak, of people. Because I was kind of the same way. I was more quiet when I was young. And I grew up with a family full of athletes, and then here was I, as the opposite. Sure. But so that was a really big part, was in Goddard, I joined the band. That was when I was introduced to percussion. They were like, hey, here's a snare drum. And I was like, what's that? That's cool. And so then in high school I did drumline, and it was a big thing. Yeah. So it's really great to hear that. I was like, that was you. And then now your son is doing it. Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah.
What was your... And this is me geeking out a little bit. What was your drum of were you in drumline in band? Or?
Oh yeah.
Is that mainly what it was?
Basically played everything.
Okay. Yeah.
Snare, quads, bass.
Wow.
Drum set and jazz band.
Okay.
Bandorama, drum solos, all that kind
really?
Which that's where people. I remember when I was in there, and like I said, really shy. People didn't know. Do you do anything? Because I was quiet to myself, kind of.
Yeah.
But then had some friends that came to Bandorama then, and if you've ever been, the stage comes up when the jazz band's playing. It still does. It's still the same thing.
Wow.
And I was doing a drum solo, and people were, okay.
That's great.
But yeah, it's just a lot of fond memories of it.
Yeah. Was music something in your youth prior to high school or in your family, or was that kind of something that was introduced to you later on?
Well, I played like trumpet and stuff in elementary school, stuff like in middle school. But then when I moved here, my aunt, because my cousins all went to high school here too, and they were going to be in the band. And my aunt, when they found out we were moving here, she goes like, "Hey, you're going to be in the band. You're going to play the drums."
Oh,
so I'm like, there we go. So that's how it happened.
That's great. Yeah, that's kind of, it's so funny because my family, nobody was really musicians, and my sister dated musicians, so she was in band, but she was in the pageantry side of things.
Sure.
And then all of her friends were in Glendora High School band. So then they formed a band outside a band, and we would watch them and stuff. And that's kind of how I was introduced to it. And it's just funny because my dad's like, he was like football, baseball, and he's like, you want to be in band? But then he would watch me and he's like, this is really cool, you know?
It's definitely the hardest working group in a high school.
Yeah. And I will say, for a high school kid, it was hard, I think. And you could see, like, it's just like practice after school in summer, you're on the field, you know? Part of me was like, I want to go out with my friends, not go practice, you know?
Lots of time.
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting. And then I was looking a little bit, I was researching, so you were in some of the marketing industry a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit. What did you do with the marketing side of things?
Well, when I was part of the chamber, I was doing finance.
Okay.
And it was right when the market collapsed.
Oh.
I was doing, I was working with my father-in-law. We had an office behind Classic Coffee.
Oh, okay.
Right down the street here.
Yeah.
And when that first converted to businesses and not just a car gallery.
Gotcha.
When they converted it out. And the market was just going down. It was like the 06, 07, everything kind of tanked.
Yeah.
And so I was doing marketing for the finance company we were working with.
Oh, okay.
And then I was thinking, okay, I need a paycheck because if you've done finances, like, and insurance, you don't sell anything.
You're not
making any money. So I was doing that, and then I started doing marketing stuff, making ads and social media stuff for other like realtors and other, and then nonprofits. I connected with a lot of the nonprofits in town here, where most of the stuff I would just do it and they not even charge anything.
Yeah.
Or if anything was charged, it was like very
small.
little.
Yeah.
It was more just for exposure and stuff. And then I was also doing workshops for the chamber.
Oh, okay.
On social media, but it was back before a lot of the stuff
nowadays.
That we have now.
Yeah.
You know, it was like,
when it was like just kind of getting...
Yeah, Facebook, we got a YouTube page, and maybe Twitter, that's about it.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
And, but even I think back what we taught then, it's like, it doesn't even work now. Everything's totally different.
Yeah, it's adapted, it's changed a lot,
So,
interesting.
So I actually started like my own marketing company.
Okay.
You know, and just kind of on the side, really.
Right.
You know, and then, so I just kind of got into that by making stuff for myself and my finance stuff, and then for the company and then others.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, you and I have a lot in common. And I think maybe it's that creative side. It sounds like, you know, with the music and then that, because that's kind of what part of me was doing a little bit, was doing my own social media. And then a few people asked me, hey, can you help me? And then it kind of, you know. No, that's great. As far as the chamber goes, I wanted to touch on a few points of this, because I think most of the businesses in town, obviously, I think most people in general, if you're in a business, Chamber of Commerce is one of the first places you look to, right? If you're starting somewhere or you want to do this, or at least some businesses may know that. Touch on a few things of like, if there was a new business coming into town, what are a few key benefits of joining the Chamber of Commerce? Because I really want to promote that, because for me, that was a huge part of like getting my my name out, or my business's name out, you know? So touch on a few benefits of that for somebody that may not know why they should join the chamber.
Okay.
You know.
Well, not everyone knows what a chamber is.
Okay.
Let's kind of start there.
Yeah.
And it's getting more and more like that. So that's where it's getting why we're doing a lot more of the promotion that we're doing.
Okay.
To kind of educate people, because but why chambers are important is we are the organization that is looking out for businesses. You know, people think their city is out looking out for their businesses.
Right.
But that's not really the city's job. Their city is to make it where businesses can operate and kind of, regulate and make the place where you can have a business. But
make sure the streets are good, and make sure,
make sure people can get to your business and all this kind of good stuff.
Right.
But a chamber is the one actually looking out for you. And it's important to really pay attention kind of to what we're doing, the best of everyone's ability, because I know people, with your businesses, you're in it, and it's just everything else, it's just so much going after a business owner. It's hard to pay attention to everything.
Right.
But that's our job, is to help businesses, our local businesses here.
Yeah.
Pay attention, see what's coming down the line that may affect you, positive or negative.
Right.
And just to know that we're here to help, and also the more people part of a chamber, that business voice is bigger, right? So if, I could stand, me and my staff can stand out on the street and yell, "We need help," for our businesses. People are like, "What are those crazy people?" But if there's 500 business owners out saying, "We need X, Y, and Z," people start to listen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So luckily we're blessed to have a great relationship with our city, because that's not always the case.
Right.
We can go to City Hall, and City Hall can come here. We have conversations, and this is kind of what we need, or what the people are saying, and kind of talk about it. And it's just, we have a great relationship.
Yeah. I'm glad you touched on that, because I think for me, maybe I knew what a chamber was coming in because my father-in-law was in it.
Sure.
I was, but now that you say that, I think about it, you're absolutely right. I think especially some of these younger generation of coming in and starting a business, they may not even know what a chamber of commerce is.
Well, a lot of people think it's a good old boys club, something like that. And which is why, because when I first started, chambers were kind of closed. Where it's like, if you weren't a member, you kind of weren't invited.
Oh, right? I see.
But now, because, people just, because we're a membership organization, right?
Sure.
But the idea of a membership was almost negative nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like, another membership I'm not going to use,
I got to pay this thing. Yeah.
So we're very, open, inviting. It's like, come, you're not a member, come on, just check us out. Kind of, and meet somebody, connect with people.
Yeah.
And if I don't think it's a benefit to you, that's fine.
Sure.
But our information is online. We're trying to help the entire business community.
Yeah.
But we just feature the members.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're on the directory, stuff like that. But
yeah.
But everyone is invited.
Right.
A good example is that was during the shutdown stuff.
Yeah.
Because during that, I was in here by myself for like a year almost, because other staff was working at home.
Sure.
And we're just pumping out information. This is what's going on. This is what's new. This is what we can do.
Because you weren't meeting
we weren't
in person
meeting.
or anything. Yeah.
So it was on Zoom meetings with the county and the state, and we had an emergency task force here, all this kind of crazy stuff. I think back, and it's kind of like, we did that.
I know. I think a lot of people probably think that. It's like, wait, we did what?
Yeah. And our mailing list doubled during that time, because, like I said, we were we were looking out for the business community.
Right, you were the hub. You were the source of it.
We were really trying to, because there was information was coming from 100 different directions.
Yeah.
So, and then working with the city too, because they were looking out for stuff too, and then where can get help and grants, and we're able to put those grants together that we put and stuff, and just. But like I said, I just like to let people know that we're looking out for business.
Yeah, and that's I've always been a big part of wherever I was. I'm born and raised in Glendora, but some of our business was in San Dimas or other cities.
Sure.
But being back in Glendora, I'm really excited because it is that community base. You go to the events and everybody, you get to know each other, and everybody's there trying to help each other out, which is great. And everybody's kind of in the same boat, trying to advertise or market, or how are we going to get this or that. So that's and then a few of just to kind of again, for these people that maybe don't know, outside of maybe the ribbon cutting, what are a few events, just like some examples, so somebody kind of has an idea of like, what are some of the things that they can do with the Chamber of Commerce, like a lunch, or like what are a few things that are on the regular that somebody can attend?
Okay. Yeah, if a business wants to be face-to-face with people, like if you have time to go to networking events and stuff, we have coffee mixers, we have lunch mixers, we have evening mixers every month.
Right.
And now we've added other ones where there's one almost every week. First Friday coffee, second Thursday lunch, third week there's a after hours, and then third or fourth week we started a women of business group.
Oh, okay.
So it's featured in women of business, but anyone could go.
Okay.
The guys go and stuff too.
Sure.
But so we started that. I've been wanting to do that for years.
Yeah.
But we finally got that going. So really, for people that have the time and they want to connect with people, there's always an opportunity.
Yeah.
Plus workshops, and then we do joint mixers, other chambers, and
like the cuisines or the taste, right?
Yeah. Like our cuisines coming up next month on May 15th.
Yeah, there you go.
Get your tickets.
Yes.
So that we do state of the schools, state of the city.
Yeah.
We work with the Kiwanis Club to do flashback.
Okay.
Classic car show in August.
Right.
And installation dinner. Just a
ton
number of
stuff.
Opportunities.
Right.
But then on the flip side, because a lot of people say, well, I don't have time to go to all that.
Yeah.
So there's no benefit to a chamber. Not true. Because we have honestly, most of our members, we never see them. But they use the promotional side.
I see.
They put stuff on the calendar, it's a directory listing.
Yeah. Like sponsorships.
Give us stuff, sponsorships, so their logos and stuff are at events.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. So you don't have to go to everything to really get a benefit here.
I see, yeah.
It's just you can mix to fit your business need and what you have time for.
Right.
Because you think most of the businesses in Glendora are very small.
Right.
Few employees, so everybody's all hands on deck to keep the place open.
Right.
They're like, we don't have time to go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's okay. There's still benefit.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true, because I think when I was just a salesman, I was at everything, right? Because that's what I did, and I had the time, and I wasn't managing an office or anything. But now that I've been up now in management stuff, it is harder to go to the coffee. I'm like, oh shoot, I had a meeting here, I can't attend that, But you're right, there is a lot of opportunities. So if there's people listening that aren't able to, there are a lot of opportunities to still get your name out there or connect with people. And,
Well, and we even have new staff. Auburn, she should go out and do a little video of you and post it on our social media, and we're trying to do some fun stuff too, and so it's not all serious.
Right.
I could sit here and be serious all day long, but then people, that gets boring after a while.
No, it's good to engage with some, and no, I think you guys have been doing a great job. And I was talking to Auburn about it, and she's like, and even Stephanie, we talked to her, and she was kind of saying the same kind of things. And I love to see the interaction and the activities, because it just shows that, you guys are here caring for the businesses in town, and you're always talking about them. And again, on their Instagram or their website, you guys have all your calendars and all your events shared, right? So is the website the main place for somebody to go, or?
Yeah, the website, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
And our website, there's a calendar where it took a long time to do this, but it's an actual community calendar that's on multiple sites online.
Oh, okay.
So it isn't just, because not everybody says, well, I'm going to check the chamber calendar for what's going on.
Sure.
But that same calendar's on Chamber, Glendora City News, Glendora Coordinating Council. The city puts stuff on it. So you can go to multiple places, and the information's there. So the community can put their events there.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of a one-stop shop, no matter where you're at.
Oh, that's really neat. I didn't know that. I thought it was more designated to Chamber of Commerce calendar. So that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, we have 2 links where we have like the chamber calendar, just so if someone wants to get what's going on here.
Yeah.
And then there's a community calendar, which is the chamber and everything.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, it's all one calendar. We just separated our stuff if people just wanted to see that.
Yeah.
Because if you go to the community calendar, sometimes there's 12 things in one day.
Right.
And people are okay, when's the networking though? You know? So we just have a category difference.
Yeah. No, it's been a great resource for us as a small business, and I know for any other small businesses listening, if they're not a part of it, it's a great resource and community to be with. And that's kind of why I'm doing this is just to kind of on top of what the chamber is doing. And that's why I've been tagging the chamber in all of these to try to promote just and spotlight these small businesses, because that's what kind of keeps this, especially Glendora Village, a thing. Because all of us small businesses,
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a great way, like what you're doing, to you have this, you help people, and it gets people to know you. And because I mean, that's what I did when I was a member here. Because I was doing finance that it didn't fit everybody.
Right.
It was mostly for senior citizens.
Gotcha.
And so it's like leads weren't flying at me when I came to the chamber.
Right.
But the chamber was a source for my clients, a safe source.
Yeah.
Right. So if someone needed a referral for insurance or for a photographer or for something, it's like, well, I got somebody for you.
Yeah.
So they got to know me that way. As a community helper, I guess you want to sort of care about the community, keep people safe. So,
and that's one thing that I'll do is if I need a service, a CPA, or if I'm looking for a plumber, I'll go to the chamber first. Like, hey, because you guys have all of their info on there, so on the directory, and that's usually my first go-to, because I know if they're supporting the chamber and they're a part of the community, I'm like, okay, they must be. First, a legitimate business. Second of all, and then I know they're trusted. So that's something too. I use like you're saying, it's like a little different area to look, but you can use that almost as, oh shoot, somebody needs, because we get a lot of clients in the insurance industry of like, hey, do you know a roofer? Because I need somebody to roof. Well, and I'll like, let me see the chamber, if they're local here or whatever. But I try to connect in that way too, because again, we're all trying to help each other out, and so.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to work together than all by yourself.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Last question, Joe. You've been in Glendora a long time, right? What is one thing, I asked this, and everybody kind of has similar answers, but different answers. What is one, if you could pick out one thing about Glendora that you love, whether it's the schools, it's a certain business, something like that. But if there was one thing that if somebody were to come to you and be like, hey, why do you live in Glendora, Joe? Why do you like the town you're in? What is maybe one thing characteristic about Glendora that you like?
Only one.
I know. You can name a few, but I always like to kind of get one or two things about because there is a lot of great things. But
like you mentioned earlier, it's just people know each other.
Yeah.
It's because the world's big. LA County's big.
Yeah.
Right. It's huge. LA County's bigger than most states.
Right.
In population.
Yeah.
But Glendora is good size, but people know each other.
Yeah.
People make fun like it's Mayberry all this kind of
Sure, of course.
Maybe in the 80s, when in high school and stuff, but it's just people know each other.
Yeah.
You need something, there's always someone willing to help.
Right. Yeah.
And people don't, you're not just passing by. It's walk down the street, hey, how you doing? It's just that sense of community.
Yeah.
It's just nice. When as a kid, it's like, oh, it's so boring, and everybody moves away.
Yeah.
But when you have a family, they move back.
Always.
Right?
Yeah.
So because they want that tight-knit, safe, family feel.
Yeah, and
that's
I
a great
love
thing about it.
Yeah, I love that you said that, because that's 100% probably my answer too, is the community aspect of it. Yeah. Just going in and being able to talk to the owner of the coffee shop or the owner of the mechanic and be like, hey, hey, you know, Brian, I need help, or whoever it is. That is a huge part. And I'll touch on, because when I was growing up, born and raised in Glendora, literally by the high school, I've lived there my entire life. And when I was like a teenager, I was like, man, I want to get out of this town.
There's nothing to do.
Yeah, you know, man, all these other cities have cooler stuff, you know. But then now that I have family, a wife and 2 kids, and I'm like, oh, the schools here are great. The community's safe. It's, you know, we could walk downtown during the holidays. It's fun. The parades, all of it is what I used to think was not cool when I was a teenager, angsty, you know. Now it's like, wow, like this is exactly what it's kind of bringing it back. So I'm glad that you touched on that, because that's probably my biggest thing. And I think that's why like the Good Morning Glendora thing is doing well, because everybody kind of just, it's like, oh, there's Joe, you know, let's see how Joe's doing, or, you know, and so it's just a really great thing. Yeah. Well, Joe, thank you for being on. I know you're a busy guy. I want to honor your time here. Last thing, if somebody were to want to reach out to you for whatever reason, maybe it's to sign up for the chamber or just have questions for you, where can people reach you or contact you? What's the best way to find you?
Well, I'm at the chamber most days, most times. I almost live here.
Yeah, it's like your other home.
You know, come on by. You know, the chamber. Call 963-4128. You know, email.
Yeah.
You know, we're here in the village at 224 North Glendora Avenue.
Yep.
Or you can also find me at coordinating council meetings. You can find me at Rotary meetings every Tuesday across the street at the Village Eatery. Band meetings, every time the band's around, I'm pulling a trailer, so you'll see my truck. And just, you know, I'm in most places around town. I just live up the street too, so. Yeah. It's like we'll have a where's Waldo, like where's Joe?
Oh, there he is. He's
there he is over there.
He's like across the street.
No. But so I mean, you know, we're here.
Yeah.
So, and anybody want to come in and talk about something, you got a need or an issue, we're here to help. Awesome.
Well, like I said, Joe, you're a busy guy. You're all over the place. We thank you for being a part of the town. I know you do a lot for us, especially at the chamber and other, you know, like the band boosters and everything else. So I always like to thank everyone in this town to contribute, and especially the level that you're contributing. It means a lot, especially for us small business owners. So
we appreciate it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and it's been an honor talking to you, getting to know you a little bit more. So if you're not in the Chamber of Commerce, please reach out to Joe or their office. They'll be able to help guide you where you need to go. It's really easy. It's really simple. I just recently did it when we moved back to Glendora. So if you guys have any questions, reach out to them. But yeah, thanks again, Joe, for coming on.
Thank you very much. And thanks for your time.
Yeah, and everybody else, thanks for listening, tuning in. We'll catch you in the next episode.